This is a short introduction to the birth of the vegan movement, when it was founded, who by, and why. Whilst World War II was still going on all around them, in the later stages of 1943 and into 1944, a small group of people were communicating via the Vegetarian Messenger about setting up an organisation within the Vegetarian Society. This new group would also abstain from dairy and other animal-derived foods and products on ethical grounds. Donald Watson, his wife Dorothy, Elsie, also sometimes known as Sally Shrigley, and her husband Walter, Faye and George Henderson and others pitched this idea to the Vegetarian Society, but were denied and told instead to set up their own independent organisation, and so they did just that. Thus, the Vegetarian Society, the unwitting handmaid of destiny, for the direct result of its action was the formation of the Vegan Society in November 1944, as was eloquently stated in an essay titled The Surge of Freedom by Leslie Gross, another pioneer whose writings were most influential within the movement and with the formulating of the vegan philosophy. Whilst this essay wasn't put together until 10 years after the formation in 1954, there was an earlier attempt via the most known of the founders, Donald Watson, in 1945 to define what veganism was. The object of the Vegan Society is to oppose the exploitation of sentient life, whether it is profitable to do so or not. Over the next few years, this definition was shaped and sculpted by the Society and expressed over a series of texts written or extractions from talks by Cross. These began with Man and Nature in 1948, where it was made clear that veganism was a huge, expansive idea with both a focus on the emancipation of other animals, but also with a scope that encompassed the liberation and justice for all, living in balance and harmony with the environment, and even the importance of soil. This was summed up perfectly in the line, "He is out of tune with nature. He bears a relationship to her which might be likened to a geographical fault. If he could return to his rightful place, if he could approach her as a friend and a lover instead of a dissecting botanist and a murderous overlord, the resultant harmony would constitute a tremendous and incalculable evolutionary gain." Cross was also instrumental, along with Arthur Ling, in the research and eventual production of a suitable plant-based milk alternative. Ling should also be credited for helping both professionalise and find suitable premises for the Society to work out of. Faye and George Henderson were both also deeply concerned about the state of the planet, especially in regards to the soil, and this educational baton, so to speak, was later picked up by Kathleen Janaway and her husband Jack, who were very vocal about the importance of the earth and the trees and of that of the oxygen cycle. A little later on, the philosophy was again clearly spelled out with this reminder of the focus and scope by another pioneer by the name of Eva Batt. She said in her essay entitled Why Veganism in 1964, "Veganism is one thing and one thing only, a way of living which avoids exploitation, whether it be of our fellow man, the animal population, or the soil upon which we rely for our very existence." Throughout the 70s and early 80s, the vegan continued to be run with the same themes and ethics by Kathleen Janaway, Eva Batt, Jack Sanderson, and others. However, between 1979 and the late 80s, the definition was changed to one which currently resides on the Vegan Society website. Whilst this is what the vast majority of vegans use and adhere to, there are many of us, myself included, who believe that this is a far weaker expression I would personally choose to go by. Veganism is a social justice movement which directly opposes the oppression and exploitation of all sentient life, their habitats and the resources that belong within them.